Hello, and welcome to the Hamilton International Airport Security Awareness Training video. Today you will become familiar with many functions of our security awareness program, such as our security awareness campaigns, core security behaviors, need versus right, our airport's identification process, and your role in incident response. At the end of this video, we are confident you will be able to play an important part of Hamilton International Airport's security awareness program. Hamilton International Airport's security policy has established and always continues to innovate a security culture of vigilance. As an employee of Hamilton International Airport, you play an important part of the security culture. This is the policy that drives this vision. Hamilton International is committed to being a leader in security and continually improving security through the following objectives: enhance cooperation and collaboration with airport partners, promote a culture of security vigilance and awareness, implement effective processes and procedures that meet national and international standards, and complying with all legislative and regulatory requirements, reviewing all security incidences and breaches, including implementation of corrective actions, and communicating and informing the airport community regarding security issues. Hamilton International Airport, its employees, and airport partners will operate in a manner that ensures security is a priority and fundamental to operations. Hamilton International Airport's senior management will take into account the potential impact operational decisions may have to airport security. Achieving these objectives requires all airport employees and partners to understand their security responsibilities and commit to fostering a proactive security culture. The airport security culture will be supported by core behaviors. Let's now discuss some of these behaviors. First, comply with security rules and requirements. Second, observe your work environment for suspicious activity. Third, report suspicious activity in a timely manner. And finally, engage in behaviors that support the security team. Think of CORE as a checklist that you can use if you encounter suspicious activities at the airport. By living these core behaviors, you become a valuable member of the security culture and affirm our goals of running a safe and secure airport. We will now look over the airport layout and overview of both the airside and terminal building. First, let us look at the airport from a bird's eye view. Take a moment and pause the video to become familiar with the facilities within the airport boundaries that you may encounter while working at Hamilton Airport. The areas highlighted in yellow form a part of the airport security and emergency plans, of which you may play a role in during your time here. Second, let us look at the airside restricted apron. Apron 1 consists of several gates capable of handling our scheduled passenger aircraft. There can be multiple aircraft and equipment operating in this area at any given time, so be aware of your surroundings. We will outline the need versus right and restricted area identification card responsibilities regarding the restricted apron later in the training video. Remember to always remain vigilant while working in airport airside areas. Third, let us look at the terminal building. Take a moment and pause the video and view the different areas that are on screen. This training video will assist you in becoming familiar with the variety of clearance levels required for each of these areas. Finally, let us look at the primary security line in the terminal building. The colored line on the screen represents the physical boundary separating the public and restricted area of the terminal. This area is clearly defined by restricted area signage and physical controls, which we will be introducing in our next segment. The airport uses physical controls to regulate access to the different areas of the airport. We will now highlight some of these physical controls. Your restricted area identification card or temporary restricted area pass must always be visible while working in an airport restricted area. It is important to note that if an employee abuses their pass privileges, the airport may confiscate the pass. This action may impact on your ability to work in an airport sterile or restricted area. Access control points are located on the primary security line in the terminal building and airside. Access control points restrict the movement of people, goods, and vehicles to authorized personnel and vehicles into airport sterile and restricted areas. Closed circuit television is an important component of our airport physical security program. Airport restricted areas are easily identified by signage posted clearly indicating that access is restricted to authorized personnel only. Hamilton Airport uses fences, doors, and gates to provide a physical barrier that controls or prevents access to the restricted area. They often work in partnership with other physical controls. Alarmed exit devices are located on emergency exit doors in the terminal. Attempting to go through a door that you do not have access to will cause an alarm to sound. Remember, if you accidentally set off an alarm, remain at the scene until a security representative arrives. Remember, cameras will always capture the event. All of these points work together. As just outlined, security access controls help regulate access to different areas of the airport by confirming your predetermined rights. Individuals accessing restricted areas must pass through an access control point where identification is required. First, let's look at the biometric reader. This verifies access by holding up your pass to the reader, then using a fingerprint and/or iris scanner to approve access. Secondly, the proximity card reader is another way the airport confirms your predetermined access rights. Never force a door or gate open, but instead contact the operations center or pass office to obtain access. Third and finally, the backflow system or directional flow system stops individuals from going back through doors where they came from. This also prevents unauthorized access into the restricted area. Should you hear the alarm sounding, contact the operations center for assistance. Once entering a restricted area, it is a responsibility that all Hamilton International Airport rake holders ensure that there is no unauthorized access using their rake. Hamilton International Airport has introduced this campaign to raise awareness to the rake holders to ensure that access points are closed and locked after they have entered and to prevent any unauthorized access through that point at any time. If you see an unlocked access point or witness unauthorized access through a restricted area access point, report it immediately to the operations center at 905-679-4908. No escort, no entry. After completion of a Transport Canada Restricted Area Identification Card application, a yellow temporary pass will be issued while awaiting clearance approval. During this time, in order to gain access and remain in a restricted area, you must be under escort at all times. In some cases, in addition to an escort, you must be screened if screening is open. As a member of the security team, it is your responsibility to ensure that all yellow card holders are properly escorted in restricted areas. If you see a yellow card holder not under escort in the restricted area, it is your duty to report it to the operations center at 905-679-4908. parties requiring access to restricted areas must ensure rake and temporary passes are visible prior to entering the restricted area. It is Transport Canada regulation to follow the correct procedures before obtaining access. Next, we will explore Hamilton International Airport's identification card system. Identification cards come in a variety of colors and types, with each featuring its own predetermined access rights. It is important to know the various identification cards, as it will enable you to contribute to the safety and security of the airport in the performance of your duties. We will now outline the characteristics of the most common identification cards you will encounter while working at Hamilton Airport. First, the visitor passes. Visitor passes are issued to individuals who have business at the airport. These passes are only valid for the day of issuance and are easily identifiable by the letter V displayed on the front side of the pass. Visitors must present themselves to the operations center with proper identification and their escort before a pass will be issued. Second, the aircrew rake. The aircrew rake is issued to flight crew operating scheduled flights at the airport. Hamilton Airport issued aircrew rakes can be validated at any restricted area access point along the primary security line. Flight crew with an aircrew rake issued by another airport will be required to follow crew bypass procedures as directed by the Airport Operations Center. Aircrew holding a valid aircrew rake do not require an escort when performing their duties. Third, the temporary pass. The temporary pass is issued to an airport employee who has submitted their Transport Canada application to the Hamilton Airport Pass Control Office and are waiting for their security clearance. This application must be submitted within the first 2 weeks of your employment. These pass holders will be required to be under escort at all times while working in a restricted area and will be required to be screened when working in the boarding lounge. Finally, the most common identification card you will come across is the Hamilton Airport Restricted Area Identification Card. This card provides access through all security restricted access points without the need of an escort. This card is only issued after your full security clearance has been approved by Transport Canada. As a final note on the airport identification card system, each of the cards described in this segment also visually display which zone or area the card grants you access to. Zone 1 will grant you access to the departures lounge. Zone 2 will grant you access to the baggage area. And Zone 3 will grant you access to the airside and restricted apron. Of course, having an airport identification card means that you also carry multiple responsibilities. Please pause the screen and review the responsibilities displayed on the screen. An airport identification card or pass provides you with the right to be in a restricted area, but to access a restricted area, you must also have a need. The need for access to a restricted area is identified by your employer. Remember, the need and right to be in a restricted area is not a recommendation, it is a rule. Any abuse of your pass privileges may result in immediate removal from the restricted area and immediate confiscation of your pass. As a member of the security team, you not only have the right, but the responsibility to question anyone who enters a restricted area and is not following the rules. To establish a need and right, politely ask, "Why are you here? Where are you going? Who are you meeting?" If the person you have asked does not answer your questions to your satisfaction, then call the Operations Center at 905-679-4908 and ask for assistance. As an Hamilton International Airport employee, you share these common security responsibilities. Maintain security vigilance. Report any potential security issues immediately. Be familiar with the airport's security and emergency plans, plus play an active and positive role in response. And finally, participate in the Security Awareness Program. Reporting incidences is a vital piece of our security culture at Hamilton International Airport. Through this information provided, we want you to be aware of how you can respond to a potential security threat or incident. When you come across a situation that may look like a potential threat or hazard, it is your duty to report this. A reporting culture is one that seeks to achieve our main goal of having a safe and secure airport 365 days a year. To report a concern, please call the Operations Center any time of the day at 905-679-4908. The mission of the Security Awareness Program is to equip you with the knowledge, skills, and abilities to contribute to the safety and security of the airport while at work and in the performance of your duties. We hope to encourage you to observe, react to, and understand the potential threats to the civil aviation industry and the requirement to always remain vigilant and report security concerns. If you see something, say something. Do something. Through watching this video, you will have gained an understanding of Hamilton International Airport's security culture and measures that ensure a safe and secure environment. You will have learned the different areas of our airport and their significance and why they were established, reviewed the importance of having a need versus right to be inside the restricted area, became familiar with some of the airport identification cards and temporary visitor passes and what their functions are, and finally, understand our security awareness campaigns, our reporting culture, and why it is so important that we be aware of and report suspicious or unusual behavior. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Hamilton International Airport.